What's up, guys? It's Jason from Coohom. Many of us ask how to draw stairs. My first recommendation is to import stair from SketchUp. But today I'm going to show you a way of using construction to model accurately the stairs that actually connect both levels. So let's get to it. So in here, I have used an existing house model with a mezzanine spaces, also modeled in construction tool. So here you can tell that the stair coming down that is quite nicely and is being calculated. So with no further ado, let's get into it. First, you need to enter the construction tool interface. Once in it, let me hide the furnitures and let me delete the stairs I just drew so we can start from the scratch. Beware that you don't delete everything. So I forgot to group these elements, so just have to manually delete them. Okay. There you go. I would like also to clear the guidelines as well. So we're really starting from a clean slate. So the first thing we need to draw a stair coming from level below to second level. You will need to calculate the height differences to the top of the floors on the second floor. So your first reaction would be to use a guide here, which was my first instinct too. But soon enough, you'll realize if you use a guide here, and let's create another guide with the lines snapped to the bottom of the floor. You'll soon realize it's really hard to get an accurate measurement of how far actually is your upper level mezzanine. So if I do here, you can see the point does not really snap here. So the solution to it is you have to enter elevation mode. So the trick is you just have to double click on the surface wheel that has a construction tool applied on it that was in the same line, and then you can use your measurement tool to do measurement here. So this gives you a much more accurate measurement, though I'm going to write down this number here, 19.94 inches. But still, this is a little tricky and not the way it's preferred to calculate the stairs. So I'm going to tell you a second trick. If we go back to the 3D plan, go to the surface and double click, go to the background wall editor. And you can see I've created a series of the guides here. This is one of the best ways to determine how to best create the spacings and what is the floor, what is each steps based on. And I'm going to clear the guides here so it's more clear. Let's start from the guide here. Okay, and here we're going to type in 98.94. And there you go. The reason we're doing this wall editing view is there is really powerful features called array. See what's happening? The array tool is going to help us tremendously for creating even spacing, so to determine the basic dimensions of each, the height of each thread, or the height of each tread of the stairs. So since we have this 98.94, all we have to do is open a calculator. And by code in the United States, so 98.94, the tread height is ranging between, I believe last time I checked, it's 5 inches to 7 inches. So we're going to use something in the middle, which is 6 inches. So you use the whole number, the height, divided by 6. And what you get is 16.49, which means it's better to have 17 equally spaced stairs. So this is what we're going to do here. We're going to array this 17 times. We also need to plus 1 time, which is in total 18 times, because see what happens here. If I type in 3 and I type in enter, it actually only generates 3 lines, so it only gives us 2 evenly divided spaces. So for us to get a 17 evenly divided spaces, we need to have an 18 grid lines to be snapped here. And this is critical because after adding the guidelines here, and you will be able to measure the distance from here to the bottom line. So this is 5.80, almost 6 inches right here. 6.82. Let me just do another guideline here so we're more clear. So also the width, we want it to be 12 inches. So then we can actually measure the width of different stairs just to make sure that 5.82. So that is the number we're going to hit to. So if you happen to only have one stairs, or if you intend the stair to be only fully attached to the side of the wall, which is not our case here, you can actually directly model the thread here, which is quite convenient using the extrusion tool. You draw the rectangular using the tool, and let me turn off the spacing, only show the extrusion. Click on the surface, and you want your stairs, let's say 48 inches, and let's hit save. And then there is your stair, and you can keep building on the stairs in the wall editor tools. But in our case, we're going to actually take that dimension and go back to our construction tool environment and rebuild it here. So now we have the dimension. I'm just going to draw the first thread here. 12, 48. All right. And now you can extrude the number to be 5.82, I believe, to be exact dimensions. So then once we have the standardized thread, each steps confirmed and modeled here, you can simply start grouping them and duplicating it. You can also using Shift key to select both of them to speed up the processes. Duplicating, and then once you have enough, easiest way, if you have all of this, you can also group them together again and then move them up there. So this is where you can kind of see the stair does not, the room width does not allow a full straight round stairs. This is where we will model L-shape return here. So first you need the landing spaces. This is quite easy. You can just ungroup it. Select this one step. I'm using holding on the Shift key and double click, grouping it, and then so you can duplicate it again and then ungroup it. And from here you use one of our best friend, the guideline tools again, and then you measure to be, let's say we want this side of the steps to be 48 inches. Okay. And then use escape out and use the push and pull. Right. Let me see if it goes snap. We need another line to make it snap. So let's do it. Let's add another reference line here. So it doesn't do it. I think this is one of the annoyances that happens. But not to worry, what we have to do is delete the surfaces and re-extrude again by typing in the dimensions that we have. Hit on extrusion, 48, and there you go. And group that again. So this becomes our landings, where we can, starting to add a few more pieces just by simply duplicating this. And let me just get rid of this guideline here as well. And this we go back to, we can ungroup it again, delete the surfaces that we don't need. Hit on the surface and use the extrusion tool again. Group and click on the grouped object. Duplicate. Oh, I guess they didn't group that properly. So let me go back. You can always undo it, so you're making sure that you don't lose track. Okay, let's say 12. Okay, let's group, and then let's use duplicate again, and there you go. So this way we just keep duplicating this whole stairs until we hit the floors. So let me and there might be a case you think we can fit like a few more trusses here. All we have to do is we're going to group this whole thing as one group. So what we need here is draw another guideline and then do a rough measurement, 28.46, right? And try to move it from there. So as you see, once you draw the guideline, it will automatically snap to the guideline, so you know you're moving along the line. So what was the dimension again? Let me check it just to make sure. 28.46. 0.46. Okay. Then once this has been shifted to the wall, we can start adding a few more threads here. So duplicate. Let's turn off the furniture so it's more clear. And let's move down the whole thing. Actually, since we want this side to snap to the wall, we want to shift this side. So then we want to actually group this thing. So let's group this entire thing together. Oops, I think we missed one. This gets a little bit messy here, but it's okay. What you really have to do is hold on the shift key and double click to make sure this entire group is selected. Okay. And then we just have to move, click back again, click move, and there you go. And move that down one step, and then we need to move down one more. So, and there you go. So as far as this side, all you have to do is draw a little width extension here, which I can do with rectangle 2 as well. Or I think I recommend it just using the actually let me just use line to see if it fixed problem earlier. Yeah, this is much better. So I just use a line to kind of fix this surface, and then do extrude, push and pull, and this is going to be what was the dimension again? 5.5. A2, and there you go. You just have to group everything. So you can see that once you group it, it has affected that surfaces beyond it. Let me actually try to delete these surfaces. Oh, shoot. Actually, this is fine. So we can just group this whole thing. So after you have created your stairs, now you can just you can actually just wipe out this entire wall and use our material brush and apply it to the wall's paving patterns. Same thing, everything you modeled here under the construction environment, you'll be able to apply the materials as well. I'm just going to apply this thing here, you know, and there you go. It's coming on, you know, nicely. And the next one, I'll show you how to model the railings, also the glass railings of the stairs. Let's start it. So the railing will be similar method. We need to model the balusters first. The baluster usually are in American is 36 inches, I believe. Let me just check it to make sure. Okay, it's actually recommended 30 inches, so I might be wrong here. But so I'm going to start a little railing here. Let's say we wanted the rod to be 2 inches, 3 inches, let's say, by 3 inches. And let's again use the push and pull for the surface we have created here. There you go, 30 inches. Okay. This rod might look a little, you know, thick, but we can go for it in this case. Let's again group everything, and then the next thing is it's pretty easy to do. Is just you have to copy this rod to where you think that the railing is going to end. And again, do that again for same thing here. Once you know that there is a railing pieces here, and then you have to determine. So now we have the rods. Now we just have to add the glass panels. Sometimes I recommend just adding, you know, one more rod here. So just to be safe, so your glass panel looks more consistent. In order to do the glass panel, is also it's not that hard. So you can see it's automatically snapping to the middle point, right? So this is where you'll be creating the lines. The same thing here, and then go back, go to the middle line. You can see the surface has been created. What's more is, if you click on the edge of the surface, you have an option to move it up. So usually I move it up, you know, making sure you're snapping to the vertical surface. Did you see the dash line turn a light blue color? That means you're on the right track. So let's hit 6 inches offset. Oh, let's do like 3 inches. So we just still have most. And also let's offset. Let's move down the top panel a little bit more too. Right, let's move it down to 3 inches on the top. So this is where you hit your glass panels. And if the distance is about the same, I should be able to just copy this glass panel. But before we copy it, let me extrude it. You know what? I think the best way is go to transparent material, apply it to both sides of the surface, and do an extrusion. Push and pull 0.5. Okay, there you go. Select this whole thing. Now you can group it, and then the next thing you can do is use a guideline to making sure that is centered on the edge. So let me add guides here. Go. Let me add another guides. So it's just sweet. And now we can click on this whole thing. We can move, and if we zoom in enough using the WSAD tool, you can see click on the middle point and snap back. So this way we're making sure that our glass panel is always it's right on the center of the railing. So again, let's duplicate this, and I'm just going to have it snapped to the next part, and then going to move it down. Where was the dimension? 3 inches, or was it 2? I believe it might be 2 inches. So again, one more, and then we add another guideline here, and then let's do guideline here, click into it, and use the move tool. Try to snap to the middle point of this geometry. Zoom out, and then making sure you're on the vertical line, and there's the intersecting point, and there you go. So at the same thing, you can finish applying the rest of the railing. I'm going to go a little bit faster here, so this is really tricky, or we can just duplicate this. This might be a better way. Okay, so this way we get the railings and on both the stairs just by using a construction tool.